So you have a 3% mortgage. Everyone keeps telling you to never let that interest rate go. So you stay in the current home. You feel stuck. You watch homes that you love come and go. And here's what nobody runs for you. The interest rate that you have is only one line on the page. Your equity and your other debts run the rest of the page. And when you add those in, the math can flip it completely. Today I'm going to show you something most people never see. How a move from 3% to 6.5% can lower your monthly cost, clear your high interest rate debt, and still buy you a bigger home. So stay with me as I walk through it. My name is Eric Hamilton. I'm a top 1% lender in the country, and I help a lot of buyers see clarity and understand the data. I've spent more than 20 years doing this in Chicago and across the United States. That includes the crash of 2008. I do not sell slogans. I just run the numbers and understand the data. So let's run yours. Here's why moving feels impossible. You look at one number and one number only, the interest rate that you have today. So picture a $400,000 loan. At 3%, the payment is around $1,686 a month. At 6.5%, that same loan is about $2,528 a month. That is $842 more every single month. Your brain stops right there. It says, nope, I'm not selling. And I understand why. But that comparison is a trap. It only changes one line on the page. It pretends nothing else about your life is allowed to change. That is not real. Let me show you the rest of the page and the rest of the numbers. Move-up owners are not just sitting on a low rate. They're also carrying expensive debt in a lot of cases. Credit cards are nearly 21% at least, a car loan 8.5%, personal loans around 12%. That debt is quietly draining you every single month. And your home is sitting on equity you cannot touch while you stay frozen. So let's unlock it. Here's an example. Say your home is worth $475,000. You still owe $245,000 on that 3% loan. And now you go to sell. Selling cost at around 6% is going to cost about $28,500. After you pay off the loan and all the cost, you walk away with about $201,500. That is real money that was trapped. Now we put it to work. You take that equity and you do two things with it. First, you wipe out all of the high interest rate debt. In this example, that is $91,000 of credit cards, the car payment, and the personal loan. All gone when after you sell the house. Second, use the rest as a down payment on that much bigger home. So say the new home is $565,000. Your new loan is about $454,500 after your down payment at 6.5%. Now here's the part that nobody runs for you. Before the move, you were stuck at 3%, but add it all up, the mortgage was about $1,033, the credit cards were $1,050, the car was about $640, the personal loan was about $400. Your total output every single month was over $3,100. After the move, you're at 6.5%, but the consumer debt is now zero. Your total output, only about $2,873. So just try to understand that again. The rate more than doubled and your monthly costs went down by more than $250. You erased $91,000 of high interest rate debt and you moved into a bigger home. That is the move up myth. The myth is that a higher rate always means a higher cost. It does not. The rate is only one line. Your whole financial picture is the real answer. Now let me be honest with you because that matters more than the pitch. This does not work for everyone. It works when the two things are true. One, you have real equity trapped in your home. Two, you are carrying around some high interest rate debt that's eating up your budget. If you have no equity and no expensive debt, the math is going to be very different. I will say that in your consultation every time we sit down that it may not make sense to sell. I would rather give you the truth than just a slogan. Here is the local truth on top of all of this. In Chicago right now, homes for sale are far below normal. Prices have kept climbing. So waiting is not free either. Every month you sit frozen, the home you want gets more expensive. And when rates do dip, every buyer who's been waiting is going to jump back in. And that's going to put a lot of pressure on prices moving back up. So the real question is not the rate. The real question is your math. What is your home worth? What do you owe? What debt are you carrying? When you put those numbers together, you might be a lot less stuck than you feel. Here's one next step that I would definitely recommend. Do not guess on these numbers. Run your actual numbers with someone who will tell you the truth and understand what's called your blended rate. That is what I do. My link is in the description, which can take you to my information directly, which you can reach out to me directly, go to my website, and we can run this for you really quickly. It takes a few minutes, and we can let you know really what your picture looks like when it's all said and done. That link is in the description below. If this helped you see the math differently, share it with someone that you think's been sitting on a low rate and feeling stuck. Leave a comment and tell me what is keeping you in your current home. I read every comment. I'll see you in the next video.